everything's working. Right. Twitter is live.
Twitter is live.
Looks like everything is live. Everything is streaming. Just
Checking the YouTube. We are indeed live there.
check on Twitter.
Stream on Twitter. What? It's not a thing.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. Oh my gosh, it's a thing.
Is it working? I'm also monitoring.
Yeah, it's there. It's live. It's working. We're on.
Great.
We're good.
Okay. Right. So I guess maybe you can bring up the slides and introduction. Oh, nice.
Host has disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh,
so that's going to be a no-go from my side until that's rectified.
give it a go now.
Yeah. What do you see? See the slides?
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're like 5 minutes from the meeting.
Totally fine. Come one, come all to the Firo meeting.
Well, this is actually pretty cool. Nice that we can hit all. Nice that we can hit all the platforms at once.
Where does it stream to? YouTube, Twitter, and what?
Twitch, my own Twitch.
Your own Twitch. Goodness. Trying to rack up that following.
Just you might as well, right? Paid like $120 for the restream subscription, so might as well use it. Hey guys, anyone that's just tuning in, how's the stream quality? Five more minutes.
It's fine. We're not in a rush.
Let's go. Quality is good. Hey, Neil Scotch. Hey, AJ. Sweaters here. And synth. Wait, Lucas is here.
Is it just going to be like you and I on the call itself?
Yeah, probably, unless someone wants to come on, but
somebody can come on if they want. Please join us. Talk with us. Keep us company.
Leasing's here. Neil Scotch's here. Great. So anyway, hey Lanang, hey afternoon. So just today Diego will be leading the meeting. Hey Jack Mott. So we'll be having the kind of like a regular scheduled monthly meeting. maybe I should let Diego talk. Like, you know, if anyone wants to
Yeah, I
bring
was
up
going to
topics now.
say, why don't you
Go
sit
ahead.
down and let the adults in the room start talking? So, hello everybody. My name is Diego Salazar, known in some online circles as Rarar. I've done some work with Monero. I've done some work with Firo. I've been around the blockchain block, a few different times. And Ruben was getting all sad because he was, super overworked and underpaid. And so he said, okay, Ruben, you got to take a vacation. And I offered to help out in a few areas, and this is one of them. As you can see, Ruben is still in attendance in this meeting, and that is as head scratching to me as anyone, since he should be on vacation. But we're happy to have him, sit around and he just can't leave this community and coin alone, which is good for you guys. It means you've got a really good project steward. But it makes me wonder, why am I here? But that's okay. I'm happy to have him. He can chime in on some of the things. Yeah, I'm going to be running the meeting today. This is my party. This is my house now. You're all playing by my rules today. So let's we can't start because we have one more minute. It just turned 59. So I know we have 6 watching on YouTube and probably a few more on Twitter, but I know in this next minute we'll probably have another 500 or so join, and we don't want them to be missing out on anything. So if not millions, the millions of viewers out there that are going to be watching us here in this community meeting. So let's give them all a minute to log in. All of them are probably having router issues all at the same time. If I do, like, my internet's been having some trouble today, so I may disconnect. And if so, Ruben will keep us from going into awkward silence for too long. Hopefully I'll be back in like 5 minutes as I reset my router. Let's see if I know any good jokes to kill this last 30 seconds or so. What did the Ruben say when he crossed the road? Anyone? No, I didn't come up with a punchline for this, or maybe just one that would be too offensive. So we'll go ahead and get started. Yay, it just turned. It just turned for me. So let's go and get started. Welcome. I see that we have the community meeting thing up on here for everybody to see. It is indeed the 8th of January, somewhere in the world, not for me. It's 10 p.m., the 7th of January, where I am. So this is wrong. This is wrong for me. But welcome, everybody. Come one, come all. This is the Firo community meeting. We're going to be talking about the things that we've been doing lately, what we have accomplished, what we're currently working on, and then what we're going to be doing here in the upcoming near future. As I said, my name is Diego Salazar. I am a part-time contributor here at Firo and a few other places. I own and operate a little business called CipherStack, and we do some fun things with Firo. So yay, I got my little plug in there. Anyway, rules of the meeting. Everyone be polite. We do moderate, we do censor, we do stop people from speaking, and we make sure that nobody speaks out of line and does any wrong thing. No, I'm just kidding. But do be polite. We don't want any trolls or anything, which I know is a big ask on the internet, but I know you guys can do it. Follow the agenda. This one should be pretty easy because all of you guys are delegated to chat and none of you are on video, so I can just talk all over you guys. Turn off the mic when you're not talking. Ruben, make sure your mic is off because nobody wants to hear you when they're listening to me. Don't interrupt until the question section. And there's going to be plenty of time for questions. Kind of as we cover each topic, I'll give a little bit of I'll stop and say, okay, hey, is there any questions? There is a bit of a delay between what I say and what you guys say. So maybe like 30 seconds of silence, but I think we can all get through it together. It'll be a little bit awkward for all of us. Aim to be concise and to the point with questions. Don't meander. Don't go on tangents or rabbit trails or what about these things or what about those things. Like, there's the time and a place for those kinds of discussions, but I'm trying to get to bed here. So all that being said, let's go ahead and kick this meeting off. The agenda. Here's our planned agenda. After we go through this, I'll go ahead and open this up to the floor to see if anybody wants to discuss something that is not on here. But what we're going to be talking about is some additions to the Firo team, which is pretty exciting. The things that we've been working on development-wise, and as you can see, there is quite a list, and we've made headway on a number of them. So we're looking to have a pretty exciting beginning to 2021. The bit refill integration, which is Firo Binance Pay. The animation contest that we've got going on, and what we're looking to do in the future in 2022. So that's what we got on the agenda, and there's a good amount to cover. Just wanted to open it up to the floor. Is there anybody that says we should be talking about something else in addition to all these things? Ruben, you'll be community guy. You let me know.
Yeah.
I'm watching a couple of things.
Nothing just yet. But you have to give it a few seconds because there's a bit of a lag.
Absolutely.
You also in direction, we'll be talking about funding and a couple of other stuff as well.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Well, I guess, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, everyone's fine. And we'll be keeping an eye on the chat. So if you guys throw something in there because of the delay or the lag or whatever, then we'll go ahead and call it out and talk about it as we see fit. So team additions. I'm actually going to refer to Ruben on this one because we at Firo have hired some new people, some new developers to do some different stuff. And we got some pretty interesting fellas, to say the least, that are going to be helping us on the development and research side, which is really, really cool. So Ruben, you want to go ahead and introduce these guys and what they do and what they're going to be doing for us?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we had a previous announcement on this, but obviously, Andre moved on to a different project, and obviously we have to fill in certain vacancies, and we also kind of want to improve our C++ developer side and also accelerate development in certain areas. And basically, LC is an anonymous developer, and he's kind of like pretty into all this privacy stuff and crypto anarchy. He basically will be helping us with stuff that requires like Python software. So a lot of Electrum stuff, Electrum-X. So he'll be helping us in those areas. Levon, I still can't pronounce his. We just call him Levon 2 within our own circles, but I think it's like Hof Shan, sorry. But yeah, we just call him Levon 2 because we also have a Levon 1. And basically, he's quite a pretty experienced C++ developer. He'll be really helping us to just basically, accelerate a lot of the C++ development that we'll be having. And then the other guy is Arek. Arek is actually Aram's a student, and he'll be basically helping us with cryptography research, and also he'll be kind of focusing on like Spark implementation as well. So yeah, I think that's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Aram's the bee's knees, man, making both Lelantus and Lelantus Spark, and building that from the ground up, basically. And that's super cool that we got some of his little proteges to be up on here and helping us out. So I mean, what does this mean for all you guys? It means that when you look at our team page, you'll get to see a couple more smiling faces, which is very good. What does it mean for the internals of Firo? It means that things will be moving along, maybe a little bit faster, maybe a little bit slower, but for sure a little bit better. Really excited to have these guys join us on the team. Next up, we're going to be talking about the development stuff that we've been doing this past while. Starting off with MTP stripping. Who in the class knows what MTP is? Yes? No? Raise of hands? Okay. So for those of you scrubs out there who are just watching this, trying to get an idea of what it is that, Firo was about, MTP is Firo's proof of work algorithm. And, it's the way that we've, it's the protocol by which miners mine to validate blocks, include transactions and stuff. And Firo has found a really neat way to go ahead and strip a lot of this data from our individual blocks, which makes our entire blockchain that much smaller. So all of this information that the miners mine, a lot of it can be, I don't want to say a lot of it is superfluous. A lot of it can be seen as superfluous by some. And, it makes the blocks a certain size. And when we take some of that data out of there, we shrink each of the blocks. So instead of, holding a 60 gigabyte blockchain on your computer, we can get it down to about like 5 gigabytes, somewhere around there. Ruben can correct me with the exact numbers, but like it's a pretty massive difference. So for the common person, this is a pretty big deal because not everybody has, you know, tons and tons of gigabytes of space to spare for a blockchain, regardless of which one it is. And then, you know, as well, trying to run a full node on your phone can be pretty nightmarish given their constraints in size. And, you know, whatever we reduce it down to is still probably not necessarily going to be, oh, look, the numbers are right there on the slide. If I just looked and read the slide, I could have been like, oh, these are the exact numbers instead of like, you know, whichever ones they might be. But yeah, since then, Firo has been working on, you know, Ruben, did we actually put out Firo Pal yet? We did, right? We did.
Yeah, the MTP stripping is live.
Yeah. So it's for the previous proof of work. I was a bit confused there, but yeah. So blockchain reduced from 60 gigabytes to under 4 as of this time. That's pretty big. That's pretty awesome. How to use fresh sync will audit. Okay, yeah. So this is the neat thing. This is going to be on by default. If you're new to Firo, you install the wallet. You know, you start syncing from scratch and stuff. This is going to be like, you don't even have to do anything to make this work. It just happens automatically. So huge props to any new people coming in here. We see you. We love you. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for looking at Firo. Just know that all of this is going to be on by default for you. You're not going to have to do anything for it. And you're just going to have a nice, teeny, tiny little blockchain all to yourself. And it's going to be great. But existing nodes and wallets need to clear existing stuff and resync the blockchain. And we have a step-by-step process to do that. I think we wrote that. No, I didn't write that. Ruben asked me to write a lot of things. He asked me to do a lot of things. Guys, I need a vacation too. Does somebody else want to lead this meeting? No. Okay, any questions on MTP stripping from anywhere? I don't know. I always like to see bigger numbers go small, except, you know, in terms of price, we like to see smaller numbers go big. But, you know, what do you, some numbers we like big, some numbers we like small. This is one of the ones that we like small numbers. If there's anybody that has anything to add in MTP stripping, please, by all means, go ahead. Or any questions in the chat, we can go ahead and answer them. If not, I'll just give it about a minute or so. And if not, we can go ahead and move on.
Yeah, nothing, no questions there. I just thought
nobody
that
on your Twitch.
Nah, no.
They're all just wondering, like, I thought you were here to play games. What is this? Anyways, Elysium. We're gonna move on to Elysium. Elysium is like the new big exciting thing that's going on with Firo. It's kind of changing the direction of a lot of stuff that we're doing. It's super neat. So Elysium, for those of you who've been living under a rock and don't know, is Firo's tokenization layer. It's this idea, it's this colored coins protocol. You can build things on top of Firo. You can build tokens, blockchains, all these different things on top of Firo. It's not out yet, but we do have a test net out just to make sure, you know, we got to test all the things and make sure it's not going to break everything and that, you know, Firo's not going to go down in flames. So we want to make sure we got it all good and ready to go. But once it's live, like it's pretty interesting. It allows people to build different projects, to build different tokens on top of Firo and take advantage of the underlying technology that we have on Firo's base chain, things like Lelantus Spark. So, I mean, if you put 2 and 2 together, it allows any sort of project to take advantage of the privacy things that Firo has to offer without having to build that stuff out themselves, which is a pretty big deal considering how, let's say, lax the privacy is in the blockchain space as a whole. But that's a rant that I'll get into another time. I can go on and on about that. We are currently finalizing the architecture, finalizing. Somebody put an S instead of a Z. I guess you guys are European. Americans use Z. Finalizing architecture for bridging assets from other chains into Elysium via decentralized custodians. So this is one of the primary use cases that we're thinking of. We're going to be able to bridge other existing blockchains. So it's not just building new projects, new protocols, new tokens on Firo, although that would also be possible. But we can also bridge other existing projects. So like you can get things like Bitcoin on the Firo Elysium layer on the blockchain, and then take advantage of Firo's underlying Lelantus Spark stuff to do some pretty nifty privacy things that Bitcoin doesn't natively support. pretty awesome stuff, especially for Bitcoiners who are sobbing because they don't have, they haven't done anything for the past 20 years. Anyways,
very, very quickly,
yeah, of course.
Because Rasik's on and he's familiar with a little bit about kind of what we're doing
Sure.
with one of the options that we're using on bridging. Rasik, do you think you can just like, you don't have to mention names or anything, but just like a quick overview of one of the things that we have been discussing? Yeah.
So absolutely. So basically, the context on what we're doing is that we're taking bridges that are using MPC. MPC is multi-party computation. It's most famously used by bridges like AnySwap and Ren. In this context, we're not using those two specific bridges, but we're using a similar technology. How it works is that you can have someone take, say, DAI or BTC, put it into the bridge, which is stored in an MPC. Stored in an MPC wallet, and from there, all of the signing and all of the interactions happen from the MPC wallet. So for all intents and purposes, when interacting with the Firo chain, it's actually happening through the MPC address that's controlled by a decentralized network. And what that means is, in practice for the user, it's a lot harder there's no centralized point to exploit in the context of, hey, this is where the private keys are stored, as well as in the context of, hey, I want to integrate in XYZ chains. Whenever someone integrates chain X or chain Y into the bridge, it's automatically enabled to connect to Firo in the Elysium context. So essentially, it streamlines the integration concepts integration timelines and concepts that usually take a shit ton of time. So that's the main benefits of having basically a one-to-many structure with the MPC bridges that we're currently talking to. Now, we've actually had a couple of bridge integrations that have been done for a while that haven't really been approved on the development side, on the bridge side. This current one we're working on is actually being developed by the people that are that own the bridge, instead of, or I guess own is the correct word, even if it's a quote unquote decentralized network, right? I'm not sure on the verbiage, but basically, in this context, it's less of a Firo is submitting something to get approved, and more the people that are building it are also the people building the bridge. So yeah, hopefully this time it won't languish as a PR on a repo for 6 months.
Yeah, yeah, we know what you mean. So just kind of like a quick summary of that. Basically, we're looking of ways to bridge, basically other assets from like Ethereum, Solana, or whatever, from Polkadot, into Elysium chains, because all these other chains don't really have like native privacy. It has to be done through very expensive and unwieldy smart contracts. So I do think that we've been talking about like Firo's privacy infrastructure, and of course we haven't settled on just one way to do it. We are already in talks with this other group of other project that is already has a product that is more or less up and running. So I think that's a good place to start, and then we kind of take it from there. Yeah, that's right, Rasik. Yeah.
And
Okay.
it gets more interesting than this, because we already have, as we've been discussing, several different parties that are looking at building things on top of Elysium. They're looking to either fund or make it themselves. So like, it's not something that our development team, we can keep focusing on Firo. We have interested people, external people to the project, that are looking at Elysium as a home for their projects, which is really, really exciting. It shows that Firo is building itself to be a foundational part of infrastructure in the blockchain ecosystem. And as more and more projects build on top of us, and we see what Elysium is really capable of, I just see things getting better from here. It's just a very exciting time for us, where we can see the chops that we really have to offer this world. So I don't know. It's exciting for me. Maybe it's not as exciting for everybody else, but there we are. So any questions on Elysium, throw them in the chat. We'll go ahead and answer them either there or here. We're going to go ahead and move on. FiroDEX. So we've been talking about this a lot fairly recently, but we are working on a DEX solution made by us, so made internally. That's
no. It's not 100% internal. We're working with the Atomic DEX people, which
right, yeah. But there's a large portion of the work is coming from us.
debatable, but let's go on with that. Yeah.
Okay, this is up for debate. The jury is out on who is working on this, but we're working on atomic swaps. No, we're working on a DEX. For those of you who are fairly new, a DEX is just a decentralized exchange as opposed to centralized exchanges similar to Binance, Kraken, those kind of thing. So we're working on a DEX solution that's going to be powered by atomic swaps. We have a beta. And so you can go ahead and start messing with that, unless you can't. One of those two things. One of those two things is true. You can or you can't start messing with it. Yeah.
You can stop messing with it. Yeah. Do you want me to take this one just very quickly?
Sure. Go for it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, so we are working with the atomic DEX team, which I think has some relations to the Komodo team. There's no requirement, unlike other kind of DEXs, there's no requirement for native Komodo. So like it's totally independent infrastructure. We can run our own, like FiroDEX nodes to support the back end. And so this is kind of scheduled to be like sometime this month, obviously, because not everything's within our control. We're working with the atomic DEX team. This timeline is tentative, but everything's actually kind of working now. It's just more about like the UI stuff, just ironing out some small bugs there. And one of the things that is pretty interesting, like I have seen this in the community, people have been asking like, okay, how do I provide liquidity to this DEX? So it is not like a automated market maker like Uniswap or PancakeSwap where you just provide your liquidity. It's actually kind of like order book based. But the version that that the Atomic DEX team are working on would allow you to provide liquidity in a very simple way where you just kind of like put how much you want to provide liquidity, and it'll kind of do it for you in a very simplified fashion. So definitely this is something that we think that this is kind of like the future for DEXs, because like there's no kind of weird intermediary infrastructure that we need to use. Doesn't really require complex smart contracts and like stuff like TorChain and things like that. There's small drawbacks because it's an atomic swap. We have to kind of wait for block confirmations on both sides. But with Firo, once we have that kind of instant send integration into FiroDEX, which is something we're working on, that's going to take a couple of seconds on our side and maybe like a block confirmation or whatever on the other side. Really depends on the chain that we're looking on. The other thing that there may be like a slight drawback is like for chains that are using EVM, like Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, or or Avalanche and all of that. Let's say if you just want to swap like Firo to Ethereum, unfortunately, because of the way atomic swaps work, you need to have a little bit of Ethereum or Solana and BSC to begin with to actually initiate the swap, because it consumes gas fees. So that's a bit of a drawback here. But for other chains which are just like UTXO based, like Bitcoin, Litecoin, or whatever, all of that, you can just swap natively without having to have the thing that you're trying to swap into. So you have to be online and that's connected for your orders to be active. Correct? Yes, that is one of the things that we will have bots to actually that you can spin up and sort of simplify this process. And David Holiday also asked, is the TorChain integration still on the table? It's not off the table per se, but we are kind of worried that, because one of the problems with like these type of TorChain integrations or REN integration and stuff, like especially with the TorChain integration, you kind of have to, we as Firo have to own a lot of Rune, which is like, it's a huge risk to take, and that we have to continuously compete with other people holding Rune to be like in the top 100 lists on TorChain, because they only support like 100 assets or so. So it's like a constant, like you gotta keep on buying Rune to do that. And I'm not exactly sure that is what we should be doing with our development finances, unless like people want to contribute to that, and it's not trivial work. So and like we have seen, like I like what Torchen is trying to do, but it has had a lot of vulnerability, so we decided to kind of like deprioritize that, but it's not off the table, right? I mean, like they had like 4 vulnerabilities in a single month. Shit happens, but yeah, something we don't want a repeat of like value DeFi or something like that. So yeah, I'll hand it back to you, Diego.
So you can go ahead and play with the FiroDEX beta. Go ahead and download it, click on it, use it. Let us know what you think about it. Does it suck? Is it good? Is it great?
So, as a quick question, are there any current plans to do a Hummingbot integration into or Hummingbot campaign in relation to FiroDEX and the regular market?
So I did speak to the Hummingbot team, because now they've decentralized and they have this Hummingbot Foundation DAO thingy, so that if you submit a PR and stuff, then you can use your HBOT tokens to vote it in. This type of governance stuff. It's not high up their priority list. I have spoken to them about it, but right now they're kind of like geared towards AMM integrations and the centralized exchange integrations. I haven't explored directly like how much the Atomic DEX API can work with the Hummingbot. They didn't seem because like Atomic DEX, FiroDEX are still kind of small, right? So it's not really high up their priority list. So I was hoping to get launch this thing in full. Atomic DEX also will be kind of doing like a marketing push pretty soon as well. We see how the volume goes, and when there's interest, then it'll be in a better position to talk to the Hummingbot guys again. Yeah. Did that answer your question? Yeah.
Yes, and as a second question in regards to the FiroDEX, does it plug in at all to the Atomic DEX, like the general order books that exist in the Atomic DEX side?
Yes, correct. It's a shared liquidity pool, so that means we don't have to just like remake it from scratch. So all the stuff is basically shared books with anyone that has Atomic DEX or a branded Atomic DEX stuff. So that's pretty cool as well. Yeah. One of the very cool things that I kind of want to talk about FiroDEX is that, unlike other AMMs or in TorChain or even in traditional centralized exchange books. So the idea of liquidity is like, liquidity is basically, orders on the books, right? And normally, let's say if I'm offering liquidity for the Firo BNB pair, my Firo is only open for that particular Firo BNB order, right? I cannot use that same Firo and replicate it across other pairs. That means if I want Firo BNB, Firo BTC, Firo USDT, I need separate Firo amounts for each of them. But because of the way this order book works, it's basically orders to be taken like, it's kind of like first come, first serve. So what happens is that I can offer that same Firo on both BNB, like all the different pairs with that same amount of Firo. So that means the liquidity is on the books. But of course, the moment that someone does the trade of Firo BNB, then of course the rest of the other orders close. But it does mean that I can provide liquidity with one, sum of Firo across different pairs. So that's a hell of a lot more capital efficient than an AMM where you need a couple of $100,000 just to get like a bit of liquidity around the 2%. Like you get about 10,000 on each side liquidity. If you have like around $500,000. If you put in $500,000 worth of Firo and BNB, you probably get only like on the 2% side, maybe like $10,000 each on because of the way AMMs work. So that's like hugely capitally inefficient. While with FiroDEX, obviously it can be a lot more capital efficient. There's pros and cons, but I kind of like this kind of trade-off there.
All righty, enough about FiroDEX. Let's kick this can a little further down the road. It's pretty exciting. It's pretty cool. But this is, in my opinion, kind of cooler. So For those of you who don't know, we just launched a Firo mobile wallet for Android. It's not out for iOS yet. So for those of you that are in the Apple ecosystem, you have my deepest sympathies, not just because the Firo wallet's not out there yet, but because it's a walled garden that you can't do anything with. So you have my sympathies for a lot of reasons. But
Tim Cook doesn't love you.
I mean, it's a sacrifice I'm going to have to make, unfortunately. But for all of you Android users, you sweet, awesome people, we've got a Firo mobile wallet ready for you that the Firo core team has gone ahead and put out. And they are working on iOS. It is coming. It's just, it's coming. But stay tuned, because in a couple of weeks, we're going to have some pretty exciting news for you regarding iOS and wallets and all this kind of stuff. But in the meantime, you Android people, go ahead and download this, give it a shot. We have made anonymization just a seamless process. So you don't even have to even worry about any of this kind of stuff. Like, am I protected? Have I used Lelantus? Yes. The answer is just yes. You're protected, you're secret, you're private. We just make this super awesome from the get-go. It can be backed up with a mnemonic phrase, secured behind a passphrase or a fingerprint, but the fingerprint, not yet. Okay, working on it. But
fingerprints live.
It says future update right there, bro. I'm just saying what's on the slide. Fingerprints live. You've heard it here first. Fingerprint is live and ready to go. Man, this is cool. You know why? Because using desktop for everything sucks. I'll admit it. I'm not quite in the Instagram, TikTok generation, but I'm kind of on the border there, right? We just use our phones for everything. Who wants to sit down at a desktop? Ruben does, but nobody else, right? A lot of us have things to do. We want to do things on the go. So download the Firo mobile wallet, give it a shot, transfer your Firo there. It's a good time.
Ruben, quick question for you. In regards to the fingerprint, are you guys using this is Android for right now, right? For the iOS version, are you guys planning to use the inbuilt Apple Biometric suite, or are you guys planning to do it just in-app?
Have to probably ask the mobile team on that. Yeah.
Cool.
Alrighty. And if there's no questions regarding the mobile wallet, if there is only applause.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the campfire?
Yeah. So Rasik and I and Rasik and me have teamed up. We've kind of teamed up our little heavyweight punching stuff, and we've decided to also make a Firo mobile wallet, just because we like this community so much. We like this coin. We believe in the vision. So our respective little businesses have pooled our little resources together and decided that we're going to make something special for Firo. We also have a mobile wallet that will be coming out very, very soon. And it is going to be not just Android, but iOS. So I'm very happy for the Firo mobile wallet team, but I'm very sad for them because, ours is just going to be so much better. But I speak from a position of, I like everything that I do. So be looking forward to that. It's called Campfire, playing off this whole fire theme. It's also going to be anonymized by default and out for iOS. And so you're going to have two things to choose from. And if you like their wallet better than ours, get out. I'm just kidding. If you do like their wallet better than ours, by all means, just use the thing that you like. It's always better to have, a ton of different options, because I've used several wallets and I'm like, I could just do without this. And I've used some that are a great pleasure to use. And it's very subjective. The more things there are, the better. So it's kind of funny how Firo had 0 mobile wallets, and then in the span of a 2-month period, we're going to have 2 mobile wallets. Just shows you how time flies and how the project is maturing. It's really exciting to see.
Also, as a point of quick clarification, in regards to the partnership between CipherStack and Arcadia, it's mostly CipherStack doing all the work and us just kind of hanging out.
I mean, okay, if you want to give all the credit, then we will happily accept. But none of this would be possible without you, Rasik. Don't sell yourself short, you wonderful person, you. Anyway,
yeah, Rasik really put really thankful. He put in a lot of resources to get Campfire.
Yeah, for everybody should be singing Rasik's praises. He is a great guy. He loves the Firo project and helps us out in so many different ways. We just a big, wherever you are right now, just give him a big round of applause. There, can you hear it? Can you hear it, Rasik? That's all for you, man. All of that's for you.
I don't know if my NVIDIA is censoring my clapping sounds. Just a quick one. This is a question from David Holiday. He's asking, is the swap capability coming? I know for our official one, it's coming later, but then Campfire, would you guys have it out of the box?
Of the first release, no, we're not going to have the swapping capabilities. We're focusing on getting everything correct this first time and then also setting the infrastructure because Lelantus Spark is going to be coming fairly soon. So that's also going to be a pretty big transition that we want to make sure all the groundwork is ready for that when that goes live, which is because we want to basically when Spark drops, we want to support it as soon as possible, just so you know. Which Spark is coming soon, guys. Spark is, you know, I don't want to get ahead of myself. We still got a few other things to do. I'm really excited about Spark. So, but I'm going to hold my tongue for a little bit longer. And so, yeah, that's where we are with mobile wallets. So iOS should be coming much sooner than the official Firo mobile wallet when they come out, because Campfire will go ahead and have you Apple people covered. You're welcome.
Assuming Apple approves it.
Yeah.
You know,
they could say, no, screw you guys.
They have just as a community FYI, Apple has, I think it's like a 50 or 60% denial rate for mobile wallets. It really depends on which guy is reviewing your application. So just as a heads up.
Okay, well, we'll keep you guys updated on that. Now that it's kind of officially announced, I don't have a problem with giving Ruben updates to give you all, or just updating you guys about how that is coming along. So we'll be transparent and let you guys know what those processes are looking like as they're happening. Okay, Firo GUI UI redesign. So Firo has a couple of different GUIs. If you go to the download page of the Firo website, you'll see that there's a few different wallets. One of them is a light wallet, one of them is a pretty wallet, and then one of them is kind of like a power users wallet. So the one that we kind of did the redesign for was the power users wallet. I don't know if you saw it before. It's kind of plain. It's kind of, you know, bad. And now it's like kind of less bad. Is it great? It's okay. I didn't design this. As a designer, I feel like I need to say that, but it's better. It's better. I like, you know, it's got a little bit of party going on there, right? As opposed to kind of just like eating toast for breakfast. Now you're putting a little bit of ketchup and salsa on your toast. You could still be.
There are limitations to QT, okay? You know, like, there's only so much we can do.
Absolutely. So for those of you who don't know, Qt is a program that you can make GUI applications for a lot of C++ things. And they're pretty awesome, but they do have some limitations as far as design goes. So
anecdotally, all Qt developers are 60 plus usually. There's actually, it's kind of interesting. Qt engineers are less available in the crypto market because there's a substantive demand in the nuclear engineering space, because a lot of nuclear power plants actually use Qt for a lot of their old stuff. I actually learned this when we were hiring for Qt devs a while back for Arcadia.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So the people that worked on this could have been working on, you know, nuclear stuff, but they weren't. They were working on Firo. Keep that in mind. But yeah, it's all like red and stuff. So, you know, that's cool. I like the facelift. I like it. I use this wallet as opposed to the other one because I don't like Electron and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, so it is a welcome addition. We're happy with how it turned out. And we've got one more announcement about the GUI that is going to be coming a little bit later. So hold on just a minute. The Lelantus Spark audit. Guys. The first Lelantus Spark audit is complete. That's woo, like woo. It's big news. It's big news. So Spark has been in development for a long time with Aram, and which is, you know, Firo's resident cryptographer, and Aaron, which is CipherStack's resident cryptographer. They've been tag teaming it and getting a new privacy protocol out that is, you know, that fixes a lot of the shortcomings of the initial Lelantus. And it's looking to be fantastic, right? So we thought it was great. We decided to get it audited just to make sure that, you know, all the math checks out, get a third set of eyes on it. And the audit came back and it's pretty good. It's pretty exciting. We just put a blog post about it. Yes, go Rasik. You want to say something?
Could you post that link into the chat because no one's going to be able to click on it?
Ah, right.
Oh, hold on. Yeah,
Okay.
this is a second.
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Yeah, this is a second thing. We do want another audit, a code audit. The first one was kind of like a math cryptography audit, and that was done by Ruben. Hop in here. Hashcloak. That's those guys. They're and they we basically got an A minus. We got an A. There's a couple of like little tweaks that needed to be made. Nothing major. Some optimizations and some typos. We are going to get on our cryptographers and researchers to take English classes so that way they don't have any more typos. But I mean, like if that's basically the worst that you have to worry about in your math paper, you did okay. You did okay. So we're doing okay. But we would still like a code audit. Code audits are not as useful because code evolves, but having a snapshot of where the code is at this point in time is, we think really important just to make sure that the initial implementation is up to snuff. And Magic, which is a cryptocurrency-based nonprofit that looks to help cryptocurrency, the cryptocurrency ecosystem, Magic Grants. You can go ahead and look them up at magicgrants.org. They have agreed to help us out in raising funds for a Lelantus Spark code audit. Here's the link right here. We went ahead and put it into the chat, so you can go ahead and click on that if you would like to contribute. Because it is going through a 501c3 charity, all donations are tax deductible, and they accept Firo. So that's a pretty neat thing. You don't have to donate in fiat, dollars, debit card, whatever, unless you want to. But they do accept Firo. So, I mean, that's the start of what we call acceptance.
They said Monero too. They can dump their Monero to Firo.
if you want to dump your Monero to Firo, you can donate your Monero to Magic and help with the Firo Lelantus Spark audit. And yes, you get the tax benefits of donating through a charity nonprofit. So whoop-de-doo, please consider donating. We would really like to get this code audited so that way Firo can take off into its next stage, like the Phoenix and all this weird stuff that Ruben insists that Firo community has. Phoenix. Sure, it's okay. Firo VM. This is something I'm not super knowledgeable about, and you've seen me bumble around enough already on some things that I was slightly misinformed on. So I'm just going to go ahead and wholesale pass this over to Ruben and pull him out of his early vacation to let you guys know about Firo VM.
To be honest, of course, Parman's kind of been working on this kind of independently from us, so I'm not on the beat of this. But he told me everything's working. There's actually an AIS company, which is kind of large Thailand company that wanted to build his rewards system on it. So I think that's done. So kind of Firo VM is working, but they are working on the bridge to kind of connect it to Firo itself. So that's kind of all the updates I have from Paramin. I'm still waiting for more updates on stuff. So I think he's been having problems with his internet. American internet apparently is really poops compared to Malaysia. But so that's all that I have. I know that someone is building on it, and I know that the bridge between Firo VM and Firo is being built. But take note, is a side chain, means it's kind of completely independent, but still kind of linked to Firo. Maybe Rasid can chime in, how do I explain a side chain in a very succinct manner? Yeah.
A side chain is I'd say it's a chain that's dependent on a primary chain for acting as the base of the assets, right? So even though you can move assets onto a side chain, at the end of the day, the assets are still headquartered out of the main chain. So you can't really have a side chain operate completely on its own compared to with it has to settle up on the main chain eventually. Right. Is that a fair summation, or did I screw that up?
Yeah, I mean, So I think it's like, Matic is a side chain, but yeah, L2-ish. I don't know. But all right, let's not talk about that. So okay, go ahead, Diego.
I mean, there's like all this verbiage kind of builds into itself. Layer 2, layer 1, side chain, build on top of. There's all this verbiage, and all of it just it can get confusing. So for those of you that are kind of confused, don't worry, you're not alone. Just Google YouTube is your best friend and realize that 80% of what you hear on there is going to be wrong. So
just any video that mentions price, just close it and go to the next one.
That's right. Screw the price. All of you that are here for the price, we love you guys. We like you guys enough. But some of us are here for the tech.
Don't piss them off. Don't piss them off.
We love you guys. Don't leave us. We love you guys. Okay. We announced this Firo Binance Pay integration. We announced this a bit ago for our 7 days of Firo. How many of you like that? That was a pretty neat little thing that we did for Christmas, huh? But Firo is now working with Binance Pay to do that bit refill thing. So you can buy all sorts of different stuff, assuming you have a Binance account, which a lot of US citizens do. So not for us here stateside, but for the rest of you in the world that don't have to deal with all this nonsense. Google, Twitch, Amazon, Uber, Steam, IKEA, and lots of different stuff. You can go ahead and buy gift cards for that using bit refill, which is powered by Binance Pay, with your Firo. So you can use your Firo to buy stuff right now. That's pretty neat. I think that's pretty neat. I would use Firo if I could, but I can't use bit refill. Wah. Ruben, can you expand on this a little bit? So Binance Pay is working with us. They run bit. I will be able to speak, I promise. Binance Pay powers bit refill, and Firo has been on Binance Pay for a little while, but not necessarily integrated with the bit refill portion. Is that correct until now?
Well, I think we got integrated with Binance Pay. Like we reached out to the Binance team and we're like, hey, we're actually interested in Binance Pay. How do we get on? And they were like, yeah, just let us know and we'll turn it on. And we're like, sure. So we got that integrated, but originally some of the merchants that were accepting Binance Pay had not turned on the Firo option, so we weren't available on Bitrefill and a couple of the other sites. But now that's been already switched on. So if you have a Binance account, you can use your Firo in your Binance to basically do all this Bitrefill, Grab, and Amazon, all this type of things. I mean, it's a lot easier. People might say, oh, why can't you do it directly with a Bitrefill? I mean, that's also an option, but being a privacy coin, there's always like all this, like Bitrefill, all this other stuff. They always require it's eventually settled in dollars, right? And having Binance Pay, because they kind of just handle all of that in the back end and convert it to US dollars. So Bitrefill and all these other companies are like, yeah, obviously we're fine with taking Firo because it's going to be converted to USD and stuff like that. And, all the KYC stuff is all done. So it's not like a great privacy solution for things, but we do think that, hey, if it improves usability, gets Firo as a usable asset, and lots of people have Binance accounts. Why not? It didn't cost us anything, so we thought this was a cool thing. So obviously, we would of course prefer native integrations, but this is kind of like an easy win. Hey, Justin's on. Yeah, but okay.
Don't worry, guys. One day things will be settled in Firo and not USD, and then people will integrate with Binance Pay so they can settle in Firo. That day is coming soon. Coming soon to a theater near you, 2023 at the latest. You heard it here first. Alrighty. So that's good on this. Let's go ahead and move along. We've got an animation contest going on. That's right. We're doing something pretty nifty. We're going to give 200 Firo away and 3 FiroPunk NFTs. And all you have to do is make a small animation if you've got any animating chops, at least 10 seconds, and have it be about Firo. The deadline is coming up very soon. You got like 8 more days to get this thing done. We at the Firo team are going to decide the winners, and you can earn yourself a pretty penny in Firo. So get drawing break out that sketch pad that you put away in 3rd grade when you gave up your dreams to be an artist, and now's the time to start and potentially get paid for it. We just want to see the creativity that the community has to offer. We've got some submissions already. They're pretty funny. I like them. So give them a look, and you do still have a little bit of time to throw something together if you want to go ahead and enter this contest. We're looking to do more contests in a similar vein sometime pretty soon, slightly different, maybe not an animation contest, but something slightly different. We really just want to engage the creative mind that this community has, and allow you guys to earn some Firo in a roundabout way along the way. So that's all there is to say about that. About 7-8 days, guys. Make it happen. Make it happen. If you need any Firo resources to make the animation with, you can find the press kit on our website somewheres, or go ahead and message our community manager, Luke. He can go ahead and send you to the correct place. Lucas can go ahead and send you to the correct things there. Don't be there, be square, or be there and don't be square. One of those two. All right. Last thing, we've talked about what we have been doing. Now let's talk about what we're going to do. For those of you who lived through this past year, a new year has started. We're now in 2022. And if you are writing 2021 on your checks or documents, you are doing it wrong. We're now in January of 2022, and we're looking ahead. What is next for the Firo project? What is next that we're going to be doing here? And we've got some pretty neat and exciting stuff. So Firo is undergoing a bit of a shift. And how big that shift is really just depends on the market and the community and how everybody responds to all of this. But we're looking at positioning Firo in the future as privacy infrastructure. Up until now, we've been a payments only coin, similar to Bitcoin. Pretty much the only thing you could do with Bitcoin is pay people. It's pretty much the only thing you could do with $1 is pay people. And there's a lot of different infrastructure coins out there that do smart contracts. And with Elysium, we're really just unlocking a huge potential here to position Firo as a ready-made privacy infrastructure for other coins or other projects in general, because most of them don't have any form of privacy. Most of them don't even give that any bit of consideration. But now, being able to build things on top of Firo and bridge into other blockchains and other projects, we're able to use the privacy that we have made, Lelantus Spark, to help other projects become a little bit more private. Is it going to be as good as if they did, privacy on their chain built from the ground up? And no, it's not, but it's going to be better than nothing. And so and who knows, if enough people start to use, Firo's Elysium and start bridging into us, anonymity sets are going to get so large, things are going to get so nifty, just privacy everywhere, that we may live in a very different world pretty soon here.
As a comment to the community, realistically, we need a lot of ways to find opportunities to increase the anonymity set, because even though we have that in our roadmap, that is a big ask in terms of just because that's seeding money into a privacy pool in order to make sure that people can't easily tell that it's not the same one guy that put money in pulling money out, right? So I'm going to put out a bounty myself right now for the Firo community, 1,000 Firo, with anyone that can come up with the best idea for seeding the anonymity set for for Elysium Elysium integrated projects. And this is how I burn Arcadia's profits.
Woof, man! You heard it here first, guys. 1,000 Firo. If you have the ideas about how to seed Firo's anonymity set via Elysium, get your thinking caps on. Go dig that out from right next to where you put your 3rd grade sketchbook, and go put that on and start thinking about how we can go ahead and improve Firo's anonymity sets using the Elysium layer. Thank you, Rasik. You're too cool for school, man. Too cool for school. Another round of applause that he can't hear for Rasik.
Yeah, and he also just dropped the $5,000 donation to the GoFundMe for the code audit. So really, really awesome. Yeah.
I've got to go broke by December 2022, right?
Yeah. Just a quick add-on. I've been also talking to Aram on how we can expand Spark. Not just because right now I think within Elysium, each token has its own like anonymity set. So let's say if I bridge USDT into Elysium USDT, you have like the Elysium USDT anonymity set. We don't know if it's possible to combine all the token anonymity sets into one huge pool. That would be amazing. We're still figuring it out. Aram's exploring it. No promises there, but this is just something that we've been discussing about, and I actually kind of owe Aram some information there. But if we can pull that off, that's really cool. That means like any asset in Elysium shares in this common anonymity set, which really solves the issue that Rasik was talking about. Yeah.
Okay, we kind of touched on interoperability and Firo and other ecosystems with Elysium, but we are exploring a lot of these avenues about how to integrate with other projects, organizations, corporations, all this kind of stuff, just how Firo can be useful to the world at large. And we've covered a lot of them already. We're going to give an update on funding. So Ruben asked me to make a pie chart, and he asked me to make it like an hour before this meeting, and I was like, "No, bro, I got things to do." So I wonder if can I just draw a pie chart? Yeah, here we go. See? No, that's a bad color. It's a bad color. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay, here we go.
You don't need the pie chart.
There we go. There's a pie. There's the pie chart. We just want to give you an update on what we're using the developer funds for. So as you know, Firo takes a percentage of the block reward to fund the development that we do. And we just want to be transparent with the community on where those monies are going and what we're doing with them. So we're going to go ahead and give you guys a bit of an update. I'm checking to see if on the stream you can see the little red circle. Yeah, okay, you can. So Ruben, you want to go ahead and give me the percentages that we have that I had you write down? Don't tell me you didn't write down this time.
No, I did this time. Okay, so for development, we're getting 32%. Research 25%. Administration and community, that includes my own pay and some others as well, 13%. Marketing 13%. Market making 9%. And infrastructure hosting 8%. Obviously, as the budget, well, you go ahead. Yeah,
we'll go ahead and post those. And when I say we, I mean Ruben. He'll go ahead and post those percentages in the chat, just because I gave up on my pie chart, like not even an eighth of the way through. So just want everybody to know kind of, where all this money's going. If you look through the categories, you see that we're really running pretty lean here. We've got development, we've got research, we've got a little bit for marketing, we've got some stuff for administration, some set aside for market making, and infrastructure hosting, and that's basically it. Like, we don't have all this other stuff. We're running pretty small, but a small team has the potential to be a happy team, and that we kind of are, right? We're all pretty happy here in the Firo land. We've got our ups and downs. Ruben needs a vacation. Why are you here? Go home, Ruben. Oh no, he's already home. Okay. So yeah, we've done funding. Fighting against surveillance. This was put on here by somebody. I decided to keep it on because it's really fun. Firo is a privacy coin. We work on privacy stuff, and surveillance that the world has going on, it's increasing, and depending on your worldviews or political viewpoints or whatever the case may be. But everybody needs privacy, financial privacy, whatever privacy. I could go on this for years. Those of you who know me, I could just rant and never stop. So I'm not even going to get started. But this is one of the things that Firo is trying to bring to the world, just your ability to keep your finances private on the blockchain and not have anyone from, your crazy ex to your landlord to Amazon to the government or anyone that shouldn't have access to your funds if you think they shouldn't, keeping them from being able to surveil you. Oh, we just did the Firo budget overview. What's the difference between these two then? I really like the sanitation tool. I should have been using this the whole time. It would have just made you guys super annoyed. I'm
assuming funding includes new money coming in. I'm going there.
So we do have a couple of opportunities that are available to us to potentially get some more money. I don't think we're ready to talk right now with the community because we're all pretty split about things internally about how to go about this. I'm just going to go ahead and make an executive decision since I'm in charge that we're not ready to discuss any of these things yet. But as soon as we are, we'll be letting everybody know how we plan to go about this. Because yeah, we could always use more money. We could always use more devs. We can always use more researchers. We can always use more people, nose to the grindstone, getting stuff done for Firo. Whether it be, eventually if we get big enough, even putting grants out there so other small teams can start building stuff around Firo or on top of Elysium or any of this stuff. So we want to get there eventually. We're not there yet, but maybe someday we will be. Multi-chain. I'm going to drop this off to Ruben as well, because he just read an interesting article from Vitalik and he has his own ideas about multi-chain. So Ruben, why don't
what? No. No, this is supposed to be your. Oh, okay, we're fine. So, no, because obviously, I mean, I think it's a foregone conclusion, right? I mean, obviously, you have the Bitcoin maxis that believe that only Bitcoin is the one to go, or the Ethereum maxis. But I think it's pretty clear that we're going to be living in a multi-chain world, right? Where different chains do different things, and it is actually like literally impossible for one chain to do everything well. Because when you optimize for something, you're going to lose functionality in the other, right? Like, for example, Bitcoin says like, we're going to be unchanging and stuff like that because we want to be stable. We want to be this store of value, and store of values can, change a lot. And that's why, well, the development's just not really going to be really fast, right? So the thing of what I'm talking about multi-chain is like, how do we see Firo in a multi-chain ecosystem, right? We are not trying to be Ethereum. We're not trying to be Bitcoin. Are we trying to be like only a privacy cryptocurrency? And obviously, so we're approaching this two ways, right? First of all, is that yes, we are still a privacy cryptocurrency, but it also means that we can't just be existing in this little island on ourselves, right? Because if we're not big enough like Bitcoin where everyone wants to integrate us, and even then, nothing's really happening on Bitcoin right now. Like you talk about the smart contract, their rootstock, or their sovereign and whatnot. That compared to what's happening on Ethereum really shows that we are embracing a multi-chain type of ecosystem. So the two ways that Firo is going to be sort of plugging in is that first of all, how should we make Firo available to other chains? You may not be able to get the privacy features on, let's say, like Firo on Binance Smart Chain, Firo on Ethereum. But then if you have Firo on Ethereum, it's this asset that you can do your DeFi stuff, your NFT stuff, or whatever that you want to do, even though you wouldn't get the privacy protections of Firo. But that increases the utility of Firo. The other way to kind of look at it, which is the Elysium layer, which is to actually kind of bridge other tokens that don't have privacy into our ecosystem through the Elysium, right? Basically saying that, right, Ethereum, you have this like layer 2 solutions or whatnot, really expensive smart contract mixers with limited anonymity sets. It's really tough to actually build like meaningful privacy on a lot of these chains. And therefore, rather than they try to do it, we can say, look, just bridge your tokens over and have an Elysium app, have an Elysium Bitcoin, have a Elysium, USDC, USDT, and you can enjoy all the privacy stuff on us. You can still use it for payments and stuff. And we want to kind of be like the engine behind that, right? Where Lelantus Spark or Lelantus is kind of like being the bedrock of providing privacy for the entire crypto ecosystem. And that's kind of what I mean that we should be. We're not abandoning privacy coins, privacy infrastructure, privacy as a payments, but because we're living in a multi-chain type of an environment, we have to be thinking about where we fit in the ecosystem. And that's why we're both trying to get Firo available in other chains, and at the same time getting other chains to kind of build on Elysium and bridge their tokens over. So that will be kind of our focus maybe in 2022. Obviously, we'll be like finishing Spark and all of this other stuff, but then we'll be kind of shifting our focus on where do we fit the utility of Firo in the multi-chain type of ecosystem. We have some ideas on that. We already have, I already shared with you what we have right now, but there's some other stuff that requires much more radical changes, which may be controversial. And Rasik and Diego said we probably shouldn't talk about it until we have like a proper powwow and figure things out and see how all this other stuff comes along. So yeah.
Yes.
So
all right, guys, we are already past the 1 hour mark. We know you guys have busy lives. We know that once you die, that's it. You get one life. So we don't want to take anybody's time further than we need to. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope this was informative. We hope that you guys are excited.
No AMA session. No quick.
Oh, I thought we were done at the hour mark. Okay, yeah, sure.
No.
All right.
We can ask questions.
No, that's fine. I don't have to sleep today. That's okay. I'm just kidding. So we have, sure, we can have a mini AMA session. If there's anybody that has any questions, please put them in the chat and we're happy to answer them about anything we've discussed so far, about something that we've missed, that you're interested in that we didn't cover. We'll take some time to answer people's questions now.
Not bad turnout. First time we've been streaming on Facebook. We have 5 viewers there. That's kind of, and then we have like 10 to 15 on YouTube. Twitter's about like 5 to 10, and Twitch is like 3 to 5. But yeah. Let me see if I missed any questions before. Let's see. All right, yeah, we also forgot to mention that we have that BSC farm that we're planning on. Receipt, do you have any idea how's that coming along?
Absolutely. So we're code complete on the smart contract. We actually ran into some issues, ironically, on the front end migration, because what happened is that we were, and I'd like to apologize to the community for having things delayed just because of this one stupid issue. We were looking at the wrong smart contract for the for a specific variable output on time on unlocks. And in reality, it wasn't a smart contract issue. It was just we were looking at the wrong smart contract. So I'm actually I believe we're either almost complete or actually fully complete pending testing. And I can get back to Ruben later on that with full timelines, but we're pretty much done there. It's just that was the one dumb issue we kept on running into, and I'm gonna be using this to make fun of my team for at least a few months, and that's a joke. I'm not actually gonna do it, but if I was that big of a douche, I'd do that.
Cool. I'm looking forward to that. Anything else? So So yeah, I mean, some people are asking like, when is Spark gonna get deployed? So
tomorrow.
Well, the cryptographic libraries and components are, I would say, like 90+% done, not including like audits and all of that. But the coding for that has been done. Now we're kind of working. There are 2 other things that need to work for Spark to go live, which is basically how we're going to handle the addressing stuff, addresses, and the other one would be like the transaction logic, and creating a min, doing a span, and all of that. So that work is now beginning. I still think that we'll be able to go live definitely in 2022. Fingers crossed. No other emergencies and stuff like that. So hopefully in Q2, but that also depends on the audits and stuff like that. So we do have a rough timeline on that. ARM's also working on a pretty cool voting mechanism using kind of Lelantus technology. So that would actually allow like pretty cool e-voting stuff. Aaron also thinks it's pretty cool. We'll give you more details once that paper is ready. I haven't seen any questions so far. Anything else? Not really much from my end. Yeah. See.
I mean, don't say it like we haven't covered a ton of stuff, because we
covered tons of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff that we're doing these days. That just means that we're really good at explaining everything, so everybody just completely understands.
Or we were so incomprehensible that they're just waiting for later.
Yeah.
Okay, what will we need to do when Spark goes live? Will there be a fork? Obviously, there'll be a fork. So we had a community discussion on how we should do the transition what the heck, Rasik? You're just like sitting there throwing us money, $2,500 again from the. It's like, woo, I should do like some sort of like sub dance or something like that. But thanks again, Crazy Rasik, and really appreciate this. So let me answer the question again. What we need to do when Spark goes live, when we do, definitely there'll be a hard fork. Obviously, it's a consensus change. And then, so we had this poll in the forum where we were asking, would we require kind of like a turnstile where we migrate all your Lelantus into transparent and then re-anonymize it into Spark? Or do we have a direct transition from like Lelantus, you straight away push it into the Lelantus Spark pool? And there's kind of like a pros and cons, right? Because obviously, if you can do the transition directly, a lot more privacy is preserved. But with the turnstile, you are using this opportunity to audit the supply. There's been, some talks about like, how much actually Firo is out there, because we had like, several, we had some like inflation issues in the past, and which has been pretty hard to get like an exact number. While doing this turnstile would like, kind of answer this circulating supply issue definitively. And it's also a lot safer in certain regards. That means if there were any issues with Lelantus, that would not kind of like overflow into Spark. So it is kind of like a fresh start. It does mean like the anonymity sets need to be reset. That means, we're starting from scratch. But hopefully with everyone moving, and because Spark is intended to be a lot more like privacy by on default, we have Spark addresses and all of that, you would then build that anonymity set pretty quickly. So that's kind of like the rough plan there. Welco also asked, since everything was changed, can you mine Firo with 4 GB cards? Now, Firo Power was designed specifically to exclude 4 GB cards and below, mainly because there were a lot of obsolete cards that are being held by like, opportunistic miners that would turn them on, because all of this, there's like a huge amount of cards that used to be mining Ethereum, and now they're kind of obsolete because they don't have this, they were basically like sold for dirt cheap, right? And you could get like $10, $15 because like they didn't know what else to do with these cards, right? But somebody bought them. A lot of people bought them, and they were saying like, oh, if there's a coin that has less than a 4 GB requirement and as GPU supported, we're gonna mine the heck out of it. So we explicitly chose that option to kind of exclude those type of miners because that isn't a fair distribution in there. We're trying to keep it to like relatively modern cards and not cards that have been obtained at like super cheap prices as well. HD Warrior Bridge to Harmony. Not exactly sure what to say to that, but yeah.
We will do it. We are committed.
Yeah, I mean, like bridges do take a lot of work, mainly because most of these bridges require some sort of decentralized custodians, right? That means you have to do this MPC thing or like some sort of multi-site SIG type arrangement to do those bridges. And you have to not only just do it, you have to maintain it, and you have to make sure like there's the right incentives so that these people don't run away with your money. So
if you guys want to see a real life example of masochism on this, check out the Arcadia PR for Firo on AnySwap. Essentially, like I believe it's a third of the actual contribution to the code base is actually custom libraries made just to support Firo in that context. So it's just because whenever you're integrating into an MPC environment, you actually have to have a lot of software that has to be customized. Now, thankfully, Firo is UTXO based, so you can just like rip off Bitcoin. But for a lot of this stuff, you have to kind of really dig into it. Like for example, whenever you're integrating in Lelantus in the context of a bridge, it's just it's pain in the ass, and that's just because these bridges aren't really made for complex activity in the first place. Now, in regards to your point on bridging to Harmony, Ruben, on the bridge that we're working on that cannot be named, that should have Harmony within about 3 to 6 months. I believe it's on the roadmap. And if the AnySwap one gets approved, I think that it's actually deprecated now because they're moving to a new MPC schema. So we'll have to redo it's called MPC integration. But that one as well could actually provide the basis for going to Harmony. So because they actually have it on their roadmap as well to integrate Harmony, but it's not actually, I don't think it's confirmed yet. I think they're still waiting for enough people caring to actually have it integrated in. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, this is kind of like the benefit of like rather than us individually building bridges, like projects that are all about bridging to other stuff. They have all this stuff that already kind of done off, because it does mean like, it's a trade-off, right? That means we're kind of like trusting them and hoping everything's good on their end. But it also does mean that it's a more efficient use of our resources, because we're not bridge experts. I mean, we can be, but it's like, we are focused on building Firo stuff with, of course, bridging and stuff in mind. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? This is your last chance, guys. Get them in there. Because if not, I think we're ready to call it quits on this meeting, not on Firo as a whole. Don't worry.
Ooh, I just died. I think my internet just died.
No.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I hear you. You're good, man. You're good.
Yeah, it says no internet.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and be done here. As always, if you have questions, feel free to throw them in any of our community chats. We got Telegram, we got Discord, we got Matrix. Use Matrix is pretty cool. Ruben is kind of like, Matrix, but I'm like, yeah, Matrix. So go ahead and ping us anywhere with your questions. We're happy to answer them at any point in time. We've got staff online 24/7. That's not true, but we're happy to help out where we can. Thank you for tolerating me bumbling through a few different things, and I'm happy to help and be a part of the Firo community. I'm part of the community in the background anyways, but throwing my face out there for Firo now, and some Monero community people are going to tear me apart for that. So thank you very much for that. Drama in my life now, Ruben. Anyways, thank you everybody for coming. We hope this was informative. We're really appreciative of our community. You guys are awesome. And it's for you guys and for the world at large that we do the work that we do. So just know that you're an important part of this. Donate to the magic thing. Let's get this thing funded. And some really exciting stuff coming here in 2022, as we discussed. Thanks everybody for your time. We're going to be saying bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Thanks again, Rasi. Crazy guy. Thank you. Not just joining, you're donating. But yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.